So you've decided to leave corporate America, huh? Maybe it's because the pandemic's got you reevaluating things. Or maybe it's because this whole great resignation thing. But in either case, I bet you've got questions. And since I left corporate America over 10 years ago to head up this place full time, hey, who is that guy? I figured I'd share with you how I did it. So let's have a chat. You give me your undivided attention for a few minutes, and I'll tell you why and how I left corporate America so that you can do the same. Let's step into my office, shall we? Jared here, back with another episode of Minding My Money Mondays, the place where we help individuals and small businesses make my money make sense. In this video, I'm going to go over why I left corporate America, how I left corporate America to head our family business, and 5 of the most common questions I get asked as a small business owner. So make sure you stick around to the end, okay? So why did I leave? Well, back in 2011/2012, I was at a place in my life where I was seriously looking at my purpose for being here on this rock that we call Earth. Specifically, what impact was I having on the world? I mean, when I'm no longer here, what things would I have liked to have accomplished? What impact or mark would I have liked to have made on this world? I mean, corporate was fun and all, and I loved my job, the people that I worked with, and my overall experience. Heck, I had a 13-year career by the time I called it quits, and I wasn't leaving because I was mad or disgruntled or anything like that. I was leaving because I thought the potential for me to have a meaningful impact on life, as well as the potential for me to make the income that I wanted to make, was greater if I ran my own thing versus me working for the man. Plus, I could wear these cool earrings, grow this goatee, and not have to worry about conformity issues when I go to work. Okay, that actually has nothing to do with why I left. It was just an excuse for me to wear my earrings in this video. So now that we know why I was leaving, let's go over the steps I took to make it happen. How to leave corporate America. So once you know why you're leaving corporate America and you're committed to making it happen, you'll need a plan to make it a reality. My plan came to me when I stumbled across the book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Working Less, Earning More by Jeff Cohen while checking out at my local grocery store. Now, if you want to learn more about that book and some of the finer details of how I left corporate America, then check out the description of this video. That's because I wrote about most of this back in 2015 in a 3-part blog series, which I've linked there. So back to this plan, right? Well, basically it boiled down to these steps. Come up with your idea, research your idea, create your fallback position and safety net, create your exit strategy, and execute the plan. Come up with your idea. For me, the idea was pretty simple. Do what I knew how to do, finances. Basically, I just took my education and training as an accountant and CPA and said, hey, why don't I open up a tax and financial services practice? So basically, the first step that you have to take is to figure out what it is that you want to do after corporate life. And if that involves starting a business, then that leads you to the next step. Research your idea. Many people think that if they build it, they will come. Not exactly, folks. You see, business is hard, like really hard. And getting customers, that can be one of the hardest things when you first start out. But you can set yourself up for success if you do some research before you start. I'm talking about researching things like how much does an establishment in your target industry make? How much does equipment cost? How many of those places already exist in your city, town, neighborhood, or block? What ways can you market to your customer? Who is your customer? Where is your customer? If you get the answers to those questions and then create a plan to address them, you won't make silly mistakes that will cost you in the form of your precious startup capital. Like opening your business in an area that already has 30 established competitors and a 95% saturated market. Just how much revenue do you think that you'll make in that environment? Create your fallback position and safety net. So when you leave, it's the hope that you will never have to return. Your fallback plan is what you create just in case you have to. Mine was to reach a certain level within corporate America so that if I did have to come back, I would never come back as anything less than that. Basically, I left as a manager, and if I needed to go back, I wouldn't be going at any level lower than that. The safety net is what you will need to survive. This includes savings, health insurance, a place to stay, transportation, things like that. So you need to come up with a plan to satisfy your needs until what you're doing grows to a point that you don't have to worry about them. If you have questions about how I handle some of these things, then drop them into the comments below. I promise to answer every single one, so fire away. Create your exit strategy. The exit strategy is how you will actually leave your job. My plan went a little something like this. When the time for open enrollment came for health insurance, I switched over to my wife's coverage. In today's day and age, you could get coverage from the marketplace, which is also known as Obamacare or healthcare.gov. I then went and got an office lease and purchased some equipment. I came up with my marketing plan on how I was going to get clients for that very first tax season. And then when it came time to quit, I offered my employer the option of me working part-time, but ultimately they said no part-time work, so I essentially gave my 2 weeks notice. So Friday, January 13th, 2012 was my last day as an employee in corporate America, which brings me to the last step. Execute your plan. This is where the rubber meets the road, my friend. This is where you walk out the door, start down the path to your next episode, and hopefully never look back. For me, this meant working my first tax season back in 2012. It also meant me making a whopping $13,000 that entire year and being so disappointed. But my safety net was me working as a contractor within corporate FP&A for the next 4 years until I could finally get my income to where I wanted it to be. And then I gradually weaned myself off of contract work until 95% of my income was coming from the W-2 that I get with our company. And that's the reality that many people are not always prepared for. This journey takes time. Oftentimes a lot more time than they think or have savings for. But here I am, 10 years later, without having to return to working for the Eiffel Tower and the powers that be. Now, for those 5 questions I always get asked. How did you come up with a name for your company? So our company's name is Wilson Rogers & Company, and it was founded by myself and my wife. And her maiden name was Wilson and my name was Rogers, because we founded the company back in 2005 and we weren't married yet. So we wanted it to sound like a real person, and it could have been Rogers Wilson, but Wilson Rogers sounds like a real person. And in the tax space, we were also trying to make it sound like somebody, a competitor, a real person. But it also sounds very stately. Will Rogers, you know, sitting around either riding on a horse or playing polo or something like that. And selfishly, I think I was trying to create a company's name that I could pass on to a son and name him Will. But needless to say, I have a daughter and her name's Pilar. How do you advertise your business? So we actually advertise the business in multiple ways. I've been involved in going after the online space for quite a long time. We have a blog that is attached to our website and has over 180 posts. We have social media. We did things like 100 days of tax tips on YouTube and TikTok. We have all of the social media accounts. But basically we go out there, and wherever we think that people are going to be doing a search for tax services or tax representation or people filing back taxes, that's where we try and put our messaging so that people will see us and they will potentially make the phone ring. How much time do you spend working on your business each day? That is actually a very good question. I actually spend a lot of time working on the business every day. If you had to put it into hours, I probably would say that I probably do maybe 10 to 12 hours each and every day, and this is 10 years later. But the thing is that I don't spend a lot of my time on technical work anymore, like actually doing tax returns and things like that. We have staff, I have people, so I don't spend a lot of my time doing that. My work, to some people, doesn't seem like work, but like this, creating a YouTube video, that's work because it actually generates business for us. But I would say I probably spend anywhere between 10 to 12 hours per day doing work, but technical work, maybe less than 6 hours. And if you want to know about the actual day in a life of me, then why don't you check out the blog post that I linked out in the description, A Day in the Life of a Small Business CEO. How much time did it take for your company to earn a profit? Well, our company actually earned a profit from year 1, and that was because we started the company back in 2005 when I was still working for corporate America and I was working out of my house. So we didn't have some of the overhead that we now have. And I think in the genesis of time, out of all the years, especially since we started the office here in Beverly, in 2012, there's maybe only been 2 years that we did not purposely have a profit because Jared messed up and spent money on some things that I shouldn't have spent, and advertising didn't generate clients, but we were profitable from year number 1. How would you describe your company's success so far? I would say that we're on track for some of the goals that I've had. I would say that we're behind how fast I thought it would have happened initially, but we're successful enough that I haven't had to return to corporate America. I have enough money to pay my bills and do the things that I want. And 10 years later, that beats the 5-year average for most companies. So I would say that we're doing okay. If you want to know some of the things that you might need to start your own business, then watch this video. And if you want to know how to manage your money to give you the best chance of survival, then check out this video. And until we meet again, let's all continue to mind my money, and I'll see you all next Monday. Take care.